now you have relics in the game. People were starting to get used to it, and I was like, yo, I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, I wonder how the parts was gonna act like as far as within trade, because now you have common, uncommon, rare, and also depending on how much traces you put in, you can influence it. So it's like, okay, we can have a squad with uncommons, common, then you have rare. And I was like, all right, let's see how this is gonna play out, because if we are able to get a whole bunch of rare parts so easily, it's gonna cut it significantly. But thank goodness that this system, when it came in, it didn't mess with prime warframes, as far as with, if you have a set and you go into the trade, it was not affected. It didn't, the relic system did not affect the trade as far as with prime warframes for a good 3 weeks, close to a month. Because when people realize, as far as with Ash systems, the blueprint, Saren chassis, Saren blueprint, Vobin stuff, all of those prime warframes that had its rarity, it was still intact. And I remember when I still had my Ash prime sets and I went into the trade and I was like, yo, I still got my sets. Even though the system has been in the game for a bit, I was like, you know what? I have my Ash Prime. I'm not going to sit and wait for this guy just sitting on him, right? So I was like, yo, I said, want to sell. I did this exact same thing. Want to sell Ash Prime set. I did it just like this. 300. Just like that. And once I put it in, I'm actually gonna do this like right now, but I'm not expecting nobody to message on this. But I did it just like that, and I went like boom, right? And not even like 7, 8 minutes, a guy messaged me, and I was like, oh, I actually got somebody. I was like, you want Ash Prime? You want Ash Prime set? He was like, yeah. So I was like, yo, I'm selling them for 300. Full set and everything. He was like, yeah, I want it for 300 because he's worth 300. That's what he said, because it's worth 300. So I invited him to my dojo. He could have invited me to his, but I was like, let me invite you to the dojo, bro. Put my Ash Prime set in there. He gave me 310. Normally, when you do a number of trades over a period of time, depending, it doesn't matter what it is that you sell, sometimes the person will give you more than what you ask. And it's, general courtesy. He was being nice, humble, all that stuff will be a factor. He gave me 310. So I told him, I said, you don't need to give me extra plat, bro. I was like, you don't need to give me the extra plat. I appreciate it. I gave him the 10 plat back just to keep it at 300. But he's like, nah, bro, you keep it. You legit. And that was like my first time selling Ash since the whole change of the relics and the void keys, all that stuff. That was my first legit sell off of the whole relic system, right? So now Ash is being sold for 300. So now I have Ash at 300. He's sitting at a good spot. Saren is a different beast. The reason why I'm saying she is a different beast is because she doesn't have just one part that's rare. She has two. She has the chassis and she also has the blueprint. Now, of course, I'm not talking about how it is now, but at that time, there was two. And Saren, one of the strongest frames in the game. I mean, hell, she could easily pull over 300 based off of her abilities. But I say, you know what? I'm just going to test 320 and see how this goes. I was getting all kinds of offers from people when it comes to Saren. And the reason why I'm bringing all of this up, and I was like, yo, I was telling my guys this and Aura, is that they're values has not been diminished. Saren sold for a lot. Ash was still selling for a lot. Vobby was still selling for a lot. Banshee, she was selling. Nova was selling. Nova was selling big time, to be quite honest with you. Because now, since the relics got changed, her systems became the draw. Because at the time it was the chassis. Now it's the system. The helmet and the blueprint was never a priority. It just came down to the systems now, and people were just ransacking the derelict, doing a whole bunch of derelict survivals. And I'm like, yo, they wanted to get that Nova Systems, man. Nova Systems was the draw. You could easily sell Nova for 200 to 250, which is not bad for her. So with all of this rolling in as far as with the relic system, it did not affect the rarity. It did not affect the value of Prime Warframes because they still retained their value based off of the Void Keys. Because people understood and they knew at that time that, yo, these Warframes, when they were in the keys system, to get this part, and we had the key and everything, some person rolled with his key, will be in there for 40, 60 minutes, and if it didn't drop, like, okay, we back out. Like, yo, let somebody else run a key. Let them run their key, and we be in there for a long period of time. And if someone ends up getting a certain part, it's like, yo, we good. We could run off of this key. It seems like we're getting some stuff. It's like, yo, let's keep rolling with this. Let's keep going. Same thing with Saren and Vobin and all of them. Because so it's like, you know, the relic system, of course it was going to affect these Warframes later on. But early as this relic system came into place, it did not affect them. It did not affect them because, again, they're going off of the key system. When a change happens like this, it's not going to affect it immediately. That thing takes over time. It's just like when a Prime Warframe comes into the game. Their value is going to be this, and then give it like a number of days, getting close to a week. Of course, it's going to change because people gotten used to the fact that, oh, this guy drops here, 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 and all of that. So their value will be diminished a lot more quickly because people have been playing it so much. This, however, they've been in the game for a period of time. Now you make this switch, their value will still be the same or it will actually increase. So there's a difference there. But as far as with the Warframes, I'm like, yo, it didn't change not one thing. And I was happy. Because I was able to sell my Ashes, sold my Sarens, sold my Trinities, all of that. And even today, people still want Ash Prime systems. People still want Saren chassis. People still want Vobin set. People still want to buy Vobin because, of course, he is strong. One of the best as far as with crowd control, all of that. So, it didn't really change that much at the time. It really didn't. But later on, there'll be other things coming in. Like, oh, okay, I see how this is going. Okay, start getting into the flow of things. People start getting used to it. It's like, okay, so everything all good. Everything